Right, so very warm welcome back. We're going to start now unpacking some of the questions that you have. We've got an audience here in the Free State who's going to be putting questions to the Premier and his team. And also don't forget, at Morning Live SABC is our Twitter handle, #TNABizBrief, if you'd like to post your questions as well. And one quick one here from Hloni, who says, when is the Mangaung 400 million Rand taxi rank going to be operational? Taxis are operating from the streets. Where do we get an answer for that?
From me?
Yes.
No, it's one of the operators.
No. I will give you a simple answer. The taxi rank in Mangaung was built by Mangaung, and therefore they are responsible for it. But all taxi ranks that were built as a province, that we are responsible for, we will tell you when are we finishing them, when are we letting people to get in. I'm sure that one is a problem for the municipality.
Okay, all right.
But I'm sure I know that the municipality, working together with the taxi industry in Bloemfontein, have agreed now to utilize that facility. Because there were just some disagreements in terms of utilization, in terms of space. So they have reached an agreement that indeed they will start using that facility.
Okay. Table 18, we're going to find, is it Nhlanhla Xaba?
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I think I must start first by commending the Honorable Premier and the collective in the manner they are governing the country quite very well, even the Free State. Just to commend the MEC for sport there for Free State Marathon, I think it is in keeping with the President call that we must keep our nation healthy. Just one question. It is with regard to the MEC of sports, the MEC of safety. How are you intending to improve around the issue of civic education and training of the CPF? This I'm asking with regard to the fact that these xenophobic attacks, if we could be training the street committees and ensuring that our community keep in contact with the brightness of the country, I think that will ensure that our alertness to the country is safe. Second question, it is with regard maybe to the Premier. What specific, to the Premier or the collective there, what specific areas at which young youth businesses may relate to the Chinese to ensure that as young people we are able to venture into business even with Chinese people? Thank you.
Okay, and Nhlanhla, you're the last person that's going to get the opportunity to ask two questions. Okay, so think of your most important question, and you only get one chance each. So the first thing, civic education, MEC. We've got xenophobia playing out, raging in Durban, and this is the kind of thing, if it's not arrested and managed, can manifest in other parts of the country. How are you dealing with it?
No, thank you very much for the question. I think as the province, we are the first province that is going to establish what we call your sports, arts, culture and recreation forums at a ward level, because we believe that for us to be able to deal with your xenophobic challenges and many other challenges that has to do with social cohesion. So social cohesion dialogues must happen at a ward level, because we've been doing them at a district and at a provincial level, but we're cascading them down to a ward level so that many people participate, because these xenophobic attacks, they happen at a ward level. Now, if we're not going to enter that space and ensure that people there live together and appreciate each other, we are not going to win this war. But I think as the province, we will be the first. We have started already to establish those forums so that we dialogue at a ward level.
MEC Magashule, is there something we can do at school already in terms of, I don't know, making us feel more African, Pan-African? I heard Minister Naledi Pandor, I think, no, Mrs. Sisulu the other day saying that if you go to a school, kids are not being taught a lot about what's happening in the continent. How do we change this? I would imagine this is where it starts. Microphone.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Oh, yes, there. Now, I'm just saying that, thanks. I think the whole issue was discussed by the Executive Council. And then we have agreed that it is very, very important to ensure that not only do we cover understanding Africa in the curriculum, but there must be also extracurricular activities where the issues of Africa would be discussed. And I know that as the President has instructed, and the Premier in his own State of the Province address, that in our schools, our learners have now to learn an AU anthem. And they need to know the number of different countries that we have in the African continent. And therefore, we believe that by making sure that people interact, there should be also partnerships. We have agreed also on partnerships. For example, schools in South Africa will be partnering with schools in Kenya, partnering with schools in Zimbabwe, and so on and so on. And I think through that process, where people are interacting amongst themselves, we would be able to make people, we will be minimizing the space for anarchists. Because truly, this is not a South African or black South African engineered problem. It's mostly a group of anarchists who've got certain issues to settle, that they use this issue of xenophobia and so on and so on and so on. But ordinarily, you would see people interacting every day. We've got Kenyan teachers in our schools. We've got Zimbabwean teachers, we've got Ghanaian teachers. We've got Zimbabwe. So people have already been interacting. It's just that we need to manage these troublemakers who come and use these different tribes. Because, you know, it starts with xenophobia, but it will also end with tribalism. Right. Therefore, we have to arrest it.
Okay. Premier, I think, chat to us a little bit about China Week. What is it that you're trying to do with the China provinces? How is that going to benefit the Free State? And the question here specifically is, are there opportunities for the youth with this partnership with the People's Republic of China and their provinces?
Well, people who don't know China and understand China will say the Chinese are there to annex and do their own things. We have been to China. We have interacted with China. China was there during the days of apartheid. They were on the side of those who were fighting apartheid. They are our friends. We have 277 students at different China universities. We have worked since 1994 with 9 provinces in China. 8 universities will be here this week, starting from tomorrow. They will be interacting with the University of Free State and Central University of Technology. They will be interacting with the Department of Education and educators. We have taken a lot of, they will be investing already. We have signed agreements and memorandum of understanding. We will be having a special economic zone closer to Harrismith, Siame, Malutia Pofu. The Chinese have already shown interest to be there in terms of investment. It is for our black business in particular, and businesses in South Africa and Free State to participate and partner with the Chinese because they have the necessary expertise in terms of agro-processing. They will add value to our products. We'll produce potatoes in the Free State and will ensure that we add value to those products. And the Chinese are there to exchange the skills and expertise, and I think our enterprises, township enterprises, will participate in such ventures. It's for them, and that's why in our delegations to China, we have been going there with both black and white Free State business people, and they have been paying for themselves. So you can see that they are serious about making sure that we create jobs in this province. And as government, we are there just to facilitate those opportunities, and the Chinese are ready. it is not true that Chinese is just phone call. There is real, and I think we need, in business, we need to interact with credible people. And the Chinese are also in this province. If you go to Bloemfontein, you go the type of houses they've built, you'll realize that we mean business as a province.
Okay. Advocate Mofokeng's on table 29. You have a question.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Premier, and all MECs and other colleagues. Let me firstly congratulate the Free State Province, the Premier and his government, and more importantly, the people of the Free State for not engaging themselves, obviously, in xenophobic attack. And I want to say, please keep it up like that, the people of the Free State. My question, Premier, will be first what measures have the provincial government put into place to counter any form of xenophobic attack that may arise? We need to understand that we need to be proactive, not reactive to xenophobic attacks. And secondly, Premier, it is the issue of the landing strips, private landing strips in the province. We have various landing strips across the province which are not properly monitored. And these particular landing strips, private landing strips, are being used for some illegal activities, like the transportation of trucks, and weapons, etc., etc. And Premier, we must understand that, we have people who are sympathetic to certain processes like your Al-Shabaab, your ISIS, and it's a reality. It can come here. It may come here. Or we have people, copycats of some sort. We need to guard against that. And what measures have the Safety and Security Department taken into place to guard against that? Thank you.
All right, okay. I think the xenophobic issue has been dealt with. So let's go to these landing strips. Are they being monitored, measured?
No, definitely. I want to guarantee the Free Staters. One of the jobs that the Premier has given me is that these landing strips must be monitored, and it must not be landing strips for all, because wrong elements land here, and those flies got drugs, and they get their way into our different homes. And in the Free State, there is no landing strip that lands, and the police in that area do not know what is happening because they are in touch with those people that are controlling the traffic of the flight there, so that at least we know who this person and what is happening. As we get mad when it's a foreign flight landing in our country, we must see what is happening there. We must know who are those people, so that we protect the sovereignty of the Republic of South Africa. And the issue of the xenophobic attack, we are mindful of that, but let me give you a manifestation of such anarchy. In Viljoenskroon, there is an attempt of a land grab by anarchists. And when we stopped them there, they ran into the township. They got an opportunity now to go and vandalize and steal into those shops. And from there, it snowballed, and everybody calls it a xenophobic attack. When it started there, when people wanted to grab the land, and it is not in the province that is happening. We're containing issues of the land grab, and with no apology, that nobody is going to go into a piece of land in the Free State and take a land there, and we sing together with that person. No, it's not going to happen. We stop it, and it's not going to happen. It is not happening, and we're stopping it abruptly because it is causing this xenophobic attack. You can check anywhere. Where does it start? It starts with people who have marched, people who have started doing vandalism, and people who have started invading a piece of land. Then it comes back to the community and affect the community, and they have a score to settle. No, we're saying no, it's not going to be. So we are proactive in dealing with that kind of a matter. That's why we are the best province, sober, no problems, and will remain sober as we are.
Okay, well, let's have a sober thought then about one of the news items that I read last night, and I was shocked. Are you winning the war against crime? I mean, it was a shock to me to see provincial medical vehicles being used, stealing medical supplies, and the two of you sitting next to each other now.
And they are both from Kroonstad.
How did that happen? And are you coping? I mean, these guys were caught. Often, I was an auditor for a long time. When you catch one, it means it's been going on for some time and it could be a problem in other areas. I don't know if you both want to comment on that.
No, Peter, I want to tell South Africans that we are number one, the safest province in the country. Number one, the safest province in the country. And our fight against crime in this province is very serious. And no province in this country, including the small Northern Cape, that it's not beating us in how we're dealing with issues of crime. That results of the whole hospital at the scrapyard is as a result of the cooperation that we have with our people. Our people are communicating with the MEC on a Facebook and tell the MEC what is happening, and we manage to get that. But because of the cooperation and the relationship that we have with MEC Malakwan, we went there, we got these things. Because time and again, it's inconceivable that people must steal a dustbin to the metals to go and sell it. So it's as a result that we are definitely doing a blow to crime in the province. Whether it is on drugs, whether it's on land evasion, whether it is on illicit mining, everywhere where we are, we're dealing a severe blow to crime. And I can tell you, watch the space and come and stay in the Free State, you'll just walk free. There'll be no problems that are bedeviling. Even people getting into a bus and take the whole jewelry in the people in the bus, it's not going to happen in the Free State.
Okay. Let me see, Malakwan.
Okay. Let me just put it this way. What we are not going to tolerate is a kleptocracy emerging within the Department of Health. The nature of the people who were found to have stolen the articles that you may have seen on the news, as you've mentioned, are our own employees. Not only are those the ones that we caught who stole various metal-based equipment which they sold to scrap metal operators. There are some of our employees that we have caught who steal patient food, even though they are on a salary, but they do transport patient food from within our various hospital kitchens towards their respective homes. We are catching them, and we definitely fire them, because we don't want this small spark of theft to turn into an inferno that we will not be able to extinguish. So we systematically go on an investigation spree whenever there is any suspicion of any form of theft of our own equipment or whatever material that we use for delivery of services. And if ever we find such elements, we definitely get rid of them. And these ones are definitely on their way home.
Okay. Table 37, Defensor Muleteji. Okay.
Morning, Premier and his MECs. My name is Offense Molatedi. I'm an attorney from Morocco Attorneys. Previously, Premier, previously disadvantaged attorneys had sent out an invitation to government to partner with government in terms of enhancing government programs as well as government objectives, Premier. At this stage, Premier, that offer still stands, and we feel that the government has not really dealt with the matter. It currently remains untapped. And we really believe that this partnership with previously disadvantaged attorneys as well as the government can help in skills development, together as with skills development, including continuous empowerment. Premier, so we just want to find out what is the Free State Provisional Government doing in ensuring that that mandate or that invitation is attended to.
What invitation?
Okay, so
What was his question?
his concerns are about empowering young lawyers, black lawyers. Will other institutions follow suit? The Mangaung Metro municipality apparently is very good at empowering black lawyers. What about the rest of government? And this is an issue that's come through right across the country, actually. It's been debated quite a bit. So when are you going to engage more and more black lawyers and giving them an opportunity across your institutions?
Well, in the last 2 weeks, our governance cluster, led by MEC Rockman, met with black advocates. There are only 7 in this province. And our worry was that at all times, when senior counsel is briefed, these black advocates are not engaged. Whenever we interview judges or attorneys or advocates at the Judicial Service Commission, we always pose this question to white senior counsel or advocates: why are you not engaging and empowering black legal practitioners? We have taken a clear position, and that's why I said we are going to embark on radical socio-economic transformation. Watch the space, because we met yesterday. We were outlining our plans for this year, and I was saying to all MECs, we are senior leaders of the ANC in this province. We can't just be talking. We have to implement. You can't just promise people and commit yourselves. And in real action, you as individuals and your HODs, who we think are agents of change, never actually look at the interest of the people. So it's up to these individuals, publicly I'm saying it consciously and deliberately, so that when things don't happen, don't continue blaming the collective. These individuals, is high time in our own right and space to account and say, you talk economic transformation, you talk rural enterprises, you talk empowerment of women. I will be driving the issue of women in this province, and I've said all vacancies at senior level, definitely black and white women must be accorded opportunities on merit, because we can talk forever. And that's why I'm saying, prove us. I don't think we are the best province in whatever. We are at the center of the country. We are a small province, 2.7 million. So the challenges of KwaZulu-Natal, the challenges of Gauteng. So we are South Africans. All provinces, I think, are best. We are trying to do we are all South Africans. We shouldn't even try and compete. We are one country, 9 provinces, and I think we will prosper in future.
All right, okay. And these are visionary words, but we hear these visionary words every year at your State of the Province address. And as you heard, and our viewers might not have heard, at the beginning of this, you admitted to the people of Qwaqwa in the Eastern Free State that you failed to deliver on some of your 2014 promises, things like building houses, amongst other issues. And so the question is, and we'll have to ask this every year, is why should we believe you now if you're apologizing for not delivering? Are you going to deliver? Is an admission to the people of Qwaqwa telling us that you are not able or not coping or struggling to deliver?
No, when I talk, I always talk on behalf of all spheres. If the municipality said they will do 1, 2, when I talk as a premier of the province, I also represent those municipalities. In Qwaqwa, in Pamung, that's where I was. I said there were people who raised the issue of houses. If you go there are no services. We said we'll build there were 14 houses we were supposed to build. It's only 3 which we missed. Only 3. So I said, I apologize, because the 3 of you as old people, you don't have houses. And I've committed myself that in May, we will be building those 3 houses. I already found 3 business people, and ourselves, we have said, let's put some money there and build only these 3 houses. You should remember as we work, when you say you'll do some of the things, you expect the public servants, you expect the employees of government to write some of these things down and implement them. But we will always have to take the blame if something does not happen. And apologizing and saying, sorry, we have failed to do this, it means we are not denying. We should apologize and move on. And that's what we are doing.
Okay. All right. Well, that being said then, maybe a question for you is, when you look at your team, there might be some that are not performing or not performing as well as you'd hoped. Is there a reshuffle on the cards in the near future?
Well, I've said to the team, we work as a team, and that's why the Atlastas, and I've made it very clear that Mr. Kompela, you're not going to stay there forever. Mr. Mashinini, you're not going to stay there forever. Understand another department, because MEC Mahwe is one of the MECs who have been best, and I know he's one of the best MECs in terms of finances, right? So he's not just going to stay there. Other people make noise because Dr. Malakwane has arrived. And when in the past, when we were paying 600 million overtime, Dr. Malakwane came in and reduced that 600 million overtime to 28 million. So there will be a lot of noise out there. I will even get a letter from Germany which says, when are you taking action against Dr. Malakwane? And I say, I'm sorry, Dr. Malakwane was not put there by anybody from outside this country. He's a leader of the ruling party, and I have absolute confidence. So this is the best team. They must just wake up and work.
Okay. MEC Lito, statues are a big topical issue at the moment. And I know that you've put up some monuments, and I'm just wondering, particularly when I drive around Bloemfontein, I see a lot of the old story, and I'm just wondering, how are you going to deal with the statue question going forward?
Okay, thank you very much. I think the National Heritage Resource Act is very clear on the process which needs to be followed in dealing with whether the statues that represents the past and statues that represents the present and the future. Now, as the province, currently we are fortunate because we have not yet experienced challenges of destruction of statues, and I think with the hard work of MEC Kompela in crime prevention, I don't think that is going to happen in this province. But we want to urge people just to follow the Act, because the Act is very clear what process are you supposed to follow. If you have a view that a particular statue needs to be removed, you need to apply to structures that has been established by that law, and then the process would be followed, because the same as naming and renaming of places, the process and the Act is very clear, so we will follow the process, and we are not going to be apologetic if there are names that are supposed to be changed, if there are statues that are supposed to be removed and be put somewhere. Because remember, I said earlier on, there's no future without the past. Now, for us to be able to move forward, our children who are not born today, who will be born maybe 10 years to come, they must know that we had a painful history, but we have moved forward as the country in ensuring that we create the kind of a society that we want, that is not going to discriminate each other in terms of your culture, your race, your religion, and your belief. So as the province, we are saying, communicating with people, because I think education is also important, because to have these legislations and not educate people, it will not help. I am aware that the Minister of Arts and Culture has organized a dialogue on the 17th on the transformation of the heritage of the country in general. So I think we are moving forward, and we want to urge to those who are doing, you know, it was very sad for people to really destroy the statue of Mahatma Gandhi, you know. I think we must just say, be patient as the society and follow the laws, because I mean, South Africa is not a banana country. It has laws that governs it.
All right. What about the Free State? Is there a name change on the cards there?
No.
Well, currently there's no name change. There was a view which was expressed, but each and every view is supposed to be processed. But for now, there's no decision. But if there is a decision, then the necessary process will be followed of public participation and everything. But for now, there is no decision. It's just a view which was expressed because all of us has a right to raise views.
Okay. Table number 10, we're going to find Keith Thabo. And this is an interesting question because we're getting into a digital era, particularly on television. So, Mr. Thabo, you're with NAMEC. Your thoughts about DTT?
About what?
About what?
Good day, everyone. The Premier, we are an association that gets projects here in South Africa and in Africa. We are also having funding to develop SMMEs in your province. I have brought with my team here telecom sector, energy sector, the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, Content and Applications team from my organization. We want to partner with you as a government. We don't want your money, but we want your enabling environment. Can we commit to that MOU to see job creation through development of SMMEs? I thank you.
Much appreciated.
Okay.
Ek dink as vir welkom in die Vrystaat om saam met ons te werk. Baie dankie meneer.
All right, okay. We've got quite a lot of questions that are coming up. Energy is one of them that is of a concern. But we'll explore all of that right after this commercial break. Stay with us, don't go away.